Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have something absolutely awesome to take a look at, something that we've kind of recently taken a look at one of. We have another one of these basic JP 30th anniversary figures from Marco Makes. This is the Compsognathus, and this is one that I was really excited about, but I'm pretty much excited about all of them because they all look amazing. But I really do love the compies, and I have numerous different versions of Jurassic Park style compies in my collection, so I'm always excited to enter another one, especially one from Marco Makes, as this is the very first time I've ever had the pleasure of owning a Marco Makes sculpted Compsognathus, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of these basic figures that will be the first time I get to own one sculpted by Marco as far as the species go. But again, this one was sent to me actually in the package with my Red Rex that Marco was nice enough to help me acquire, and he sent a few extras in there just because he's an amazing friend, one of which is this, which is the, again, unpainted version of the Compsognathus. So I want to give a huge shout out to Marco and Sora for being incredible friends, and of course, not only helping me get that Red Rex, but sending me amazing gifts like this. Now you can see as far as this one goes, again, you have the opportunity to purchase these either painted or unpainted. That really depends on your preference, what you would rather do. This one here is unpainted because I think at this point you guys know that I love to paint my own dinosaurs, even though I love owning painted versions. In the previous review, we took a look at what the paintwork of Marco would look like. If you'd like to get a glimpse of what Marco's paintwork for this would look like, here is a nice image to show you how incredible the paintwork from Marco and Sora, I think actually Sora may have painted this one, for the Compsognathus would look like if you choose to go the painted route. But again, this is the unpainted version. We're going to go ahead and get a closer look at it here in a moment, and then I'll actually paint mine up myself, just because, why not? It's fun to paint dinosaurs. But as far as the figure goes, again, it looks great. It does come in kind of like a neutral position, as all of these basic figures do. You know, that's kind of the point of them. They're basic. But it's also, in Marco's words, to kind of give you a figure that feels like it would be like a maquette for the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World franchise, and that is absolutely what these are. Like, they completely feel like maquettes that would be used for the films. But on top of that, you also get incredible packaging. Now, if you do purchase them unpainted, you do still get the packaging, but it comes unassembled. You would have to assemble it. But if you purchase them painted, you get the packaging assembled and looking pretty like you see here. And you can see, again, we have that beautiful image there with the backdrop, that kind of sunset, the JP 30th anniversary logo, as well as the Jurassic Park gates. And on the inside, we actually have a little slip, which we'll take a look at here in a moment. You also can see, again, caution dinosaurs ahead and the Marco Makes logo, as well as some slash marks and even a little bit of a blood stain going on there, including a handprint, which, you know, that sucks for whoever that was. But then we also here on the inside have some, well, I don't know how good the camera's going to notice it, but there you can see there's some footprints. It gets really dark when we kind of turn it because we're blocking the light with the top of the box. And actually, before we go too far away, you can see the back of the box again has the kind of like paddock fence, some information, the Marco Makes logo, and all sorts of info here in general. And there's also a QR code here, which if you scan the QR code, I believe takes you straight to all the social media outlets for Marco. But on top of that, you actually have a really cool little pamphlet here that was created and designed by the one and only Dino Mike Mac to go with these releases from Marco Makes. And you can see, again, same image here basically of like the gates and stuff on the front with the JP 30th anniversary logo. We also have the Marco Makes logo down there. And when you open it up, you can get a good look here at what all of the different figures are in this line, only one of which we've taken a look at so far. So we have a very long way to go when it comes to this basic figure line from Marco. And honestly, when it comes to Jurassic Park and Jurassic World dinosaurs, I don't know if I've ever seen a more beautiful sight of extremely screen-accurate interpretations of the dinosaurs from the films. Marco is insanely good at screen accuracy and sculpting them out to look exactly as they look on screen. And you can see that as you look through this. And in Marco's recent video he had actually posted on his YouTube channel talking all about these and showing them off. He actually also mentioned that we have kind of like a checklist here. So as you acquire them, you can check them off, and you can see green is for painted, red is for unpainted. So you can mark them off according to how you acquire them, which is also really cool. But I should have actually just shown this off because right there's our compy, again, a fully painted version of it. And then up here at the top, you again have that really cool image there of all the different Jurassic Park dinos. And then here on the back, if I keep a hold of it, you can again see more of the images of the figures, a whole bunch of them right there, as well as, again, that QR code yet again to scan for Marco's social media outlets. But this is an incredibly well done little pamphlet, absolutely awesome work on the part of Dino Mike Mac, and an incredible addition to this set for Marco's Compsognathus and pretty much every other one of these basic figures. But again, the compy looks great, so let's jump to a closer look at it right now. So you can see starting up here at the head sculpt of our Compsognathus, it looks super nice. You can really get a good look at what the head sculpt looks like. Probably I'll have a better look once I get it painted up, but you can see already, again, it looks extremely screen accurate, really well done. Beautiful fine detail that, again, will probably show off a lot nicer when I get some paint work on it. We've got some nice looking texturing to the skin up here on the top of the head. As you lead down the course of the neck, you've got some nice creasing and everything moving down the course of the neck. You also have that very long, slender neck that we know and love on our Jurassic Park or Lost World Jurassic Park Compsognathus. You have a little bit of like hanging skin there in the throat, and you can see the throat itself is nicely elaborated in the sculpt as you move down. Once you reach the body, you can see some skin kind of like wrinkling and stuff right there behind the arm. You, as you would expect when it comes to kind of like a maquette style figure, have the arms in a neutral position. Both arms are in pretty much the same position, which again is exactly as you would expect. If you look at it from the front here, not only can you see a whole bunch of creasing as you move down the course of the neck and throat region, you can also make out the musculature and everything there in the chest, but also the really nice arm sculpts, nicely sculpted fingers, kind of held into the body, and really nicely sculpted nails as well. They look genuinely sharp, which is definitely a good thing when it comes to figures like this, because Marco not only wants to give us that kind of maquette-like look, he also wants to give us a really realistic and really high-quality, like model-like version, rather than a toy-like version like we usually get when it comes to Jurassic figures. And as you move through, you can again see that we've got some really nice looking texturing to the skin. You can see the rib cage kind of shining through there. The lighter tone of the material used and my lighter backdrop are not meshing so well. It's probably a little bit hard to pick up on how nice the detail is, but it definitely looks really good. We can see the spinal column moving along the back. The skin texture looks phenomenal throughout. As you lead down here into the hip area, you can see the hip bone kind of protruding through the skin there. You can see the muscle definition of the thigh moving down. We've got a nicely sculpted kneecap. You also have the calf muscle displayed nicely, and again the texturing continues to look incredible. And we've got a really nice, really bird-like foot sculpt for our compy, nicely sculpted nails. Yet again, nice kind of scoots down the toes. I really cannot wait to get some paint on this. I can't even begin to imagine how good this is going to look when it's actually painted. And then as you lead up, you have that super long, very slender tail that you see on the compies in the Jurassic franchise. I almost want to purchase like 3 or 4 of these from Marco and then just paint them all up to have my own little kind of, I guess you could call it a small flock of compies here in my collection, because I don't know that I'll ever see better compies of this size range than this. But you can see the detailing on the underside also looks pretty nice. You'll definitely see it better when we actually get it painted up. And you do have a hole in the stomach, because that just helps, of course, with the figure to make it hollow, make it a little bit lighter, and a lot less expensive rather than having it be a solid 3D print. It's hollow, which makes it, again, much more affordable for everyone, which is definitely a huge, huge plus. But again, that's just something to be aware of. But you can see, again, the opposing side looks just as incredible as the initial side did. You're really not going to see much difference when it comes to a figure like this in a totally neutral position. So what we're going to do now is you go get it painted up, and we're going to check it out from there. So here is my fully finished and fully painted compy here. The Marco makes, again, basic JP 30th anniversary version. And man, I couldn't be happier with the final product. When Marco states that this is pretty much like a maquette-style version of a Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, depending on the figure you get, he's not lying. Like, it really does look like a straight-up Stan Winston maquette. It is so perfect as far as the sculpt and the appearance goes, and I'm actually really happy with my paint job. And this time, I'm normally like pretty happy, but this time I'm really happy. I think it actually turned out quite beautiful as a whole. definitely looking pretty similar as a whole to what you see when it comes to the Compy in the Jurassic franchise. And you can see again that's of course mostly due to how good the sculpt from Marco is. It is absolutely as highly detailed as it gets when it comes to a Lost World Jurassic Park or even Jurassic World style Compsognathus. It is just fantastic overall. And you can really see that again as we move through the entire figure, really get a good idea, a good feel for how nice it looks with paint on it. I am just over the moon excited about this, over the moon happy about how it turned out, and just, of course, how good it looks, again, with how impressive Marco's sculpt is. So definitely happy with the final product of the Compy. It honestly, to me, looks like a straight-up living, breathing version of a Jurassic Park Compsognathus. It is absolutely that beautiful. As far as a size goes on our Compy, for a length from the snout to the tail, you're looking at about 9¼ inches, or around 23.5 centimeters. And then for a height, the highest point is obviously the head, just shy of about 3.5 inches, or bordering on 9 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line, next to our Marco Makes basic Compsognathus. And you can see again, it sports a pretty good size, definitely a really nice size, and a convenient size when it comes to painting, because you often get Compies that are way smaller, so it is nice to have one that's like a really nice size like this. It's not huge, but not small, and a nice size to paint it. But for another comparison, if you are a Jurassic collector, then you'll probably have at least one of a Mattel Velociraptor or Dilophosaurus, so I figured these two would be some pretty fun ones to bring in for a comparison. But for another comparison, we've got a size here next to the very first of the basic figures that I had reviewed from Marco's JP 30th anniversary line, as we have the Carnotaurus from Marco Makes next to the Compsognathus. So if you happen to be interested in this line, now you have a look at two different figures from the line and just how, again, incredible they are. I just cannot wait to get all of them in my hands, have them all painted, and be able to have them all on display. Probably some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen come from Marco so far. And then when it comes to another Jurassic Park or Jurassic World style Compy, we have the Dino Dream version here next to the Marco Makes version. So if you happen to have the Dino Dream Compy, you'll have a pretty good idea of the size of the Marco Makes version. We've also got the Rebor Compsognathus here next to the Marco Makes basic version. Yet again, looking pretty cool, but obviously Marco's is way more screen accurate than the Rebor version. And then the final comparison I have is the Papo Compsognathus next to the Marco Makes version. And you can definitely see they're pretty similar in size, honestly. They look like they'd be really cool to display together. Definitely really neat companion pieces to each other. So this Marco Makes JP 30th anniversary line is honestly just getting better and better with each and every figure that I see of it. And now I've had the pleasure of reviewing a fully painted by Marco version and an unpainted version. And both are absolutely awesome. You know, whether you go the route of having Marco paint it for you, or you take the time and fun out to paint it yourself, it's a great experience and an incredible final product, because the sculpt is honestly amazing. Like, when it comes to screen accuracy, I don't think it gets better than Marco Makes. He really does his homework, he studies them, he really pays attention to each and every little tiny fine detail to make sure that it looks pretty much exactly as it does on screen, and that is definitely what I see here with this Compsognathus. I don't think I have a better version of a Compy outside of, you know, the Dino Dream versions that are actually taken from the original SWS files, like it's a direct clone pretty much of a original Stan Winston Compsognathus or the Dino Dream versions. But I would say that this looks like it would be a direct clone as well of a Stan Winston maquette. And I love the fact that, again, these basic figures are in that kind of maquette sort of pose, really giving you the feel of owning like a smaller kind of shrunken down maquette from the Jurassic Park films, and more specifically Stan Winston Studios. Of course, the paintwork here on this one was done by me. Yours can turn out however you'd like. You can paint it whatever way you'd like. You can go the route of the Lost World Jurassic Park coloration we have here, or you can go the route of one of the many different variants you have in Camp Cretaceous. That's really your call. one way or another, I'm really happy with the way mine has turned out. So if you are interested in grabbing one of these for yourself, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that right now on Marco Makes Etsy shop, where you can purchase this along with numerous other of the incredible lineup that he has for the JP 30th anniversary. So make sure you check that link. Go grab yourself some of these incredible Marco Makes basic JP 30th anniversary figures, and also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.